And what was a 16-6 scoreline there. Inferno going in the way of NRG with seemingly a good amount of ease. We're here at the Xfinity Analyst Desk to kind of break this one down for all of you viewers at home. Now, I've got Pimp and Vendetta. Guys, weigh in on some of your thoughts with this matchup.
We talked about Hiko maybe not being the player he once were. I think we got to see why that is. We talked about Cirque and Cadian having a duel. We didn't get to see that because it wasn't needed.
Yep.
Cadian not showing up, Cirque not needed. You know, Ethan was just coming in and literally destroying everyone.
Yeah.
In general, not a match that I had expected. I thought these two teams were closer. I think we talked Rogue up to be pretty decent, upgrading the team with Sek, having a pretty decent lineup in general, and maybe being one of the favorites, you know, in order to avoid relegation. The way they played tonight, you know, it's going to be a relegation spot for them.
I guess the question could be maybe we're seeing a stronger energy than we might have expected as well. Obviously, Ethan has had a blistering start to the season. Today, just kind of following up that first game we saw Mirage and the opener that they had for Pro League as well. I think it ended up something like 145 ADR or something over the course of the game. And when he, you know, decided to let go for a round or two and let others join in on the fun, Breeze obviously had a great showing as well. So. In the end, it just came down to the fact that there were superior individuals on the side of Energy at any given time, and you could see it so many, like even when we had Rogue actually being able to execute somewhat decently or get onto sites, make the right rotation or right read as to, in terms of like how Energy was set up, like Ethan would show up with a 4K or a 3K, or Breeze would do the similar thing. So it was just never any time to relax on the side of Rogue. They were just getting picked apart at any given moment. So. Yeah, extremely one-sided, probably the most dominant showing we've had all night.
And that being the performance there by NRG, of course. For just joining us, it was a rather one-sided affair. Ethan and the crew really putting in some work. And I have to ask, what did you notice wrong, at least that is fixable within the Rogue side of the equation?
I mean, I think Helva said it pretty well. Individually, they're just not on point, not on to pair with energy at all. And how do you fix that? You know, you play more, you depth much more, and you get better. You know, it's like the easy answer, but that's just how it is. You gotta step up individually.
Come into the game warmed up.
Warmed up, yeah. You had plenty of time to warm up for this one, to say the least.
You know, there must be an inside joke or something.
No, but it's like. What do you fix? Like you just got outmatched on all the parameters. I think there's a lot for Rogue to fix in this one. It might be the map, you know, Inferno. NRG, as you said, maybe looking a little bit more strong than we would have suggested, and it might inflect the result just a little bit as well. But overall, I'm just not impressed with what we see for Rogue in this lineup. We should see more, especially on Inferno. It's a fairly even map on both sides, you know. Should be able to pull up more than 5 rounds.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And it kind of has me worried going into the second map as well. It's going to be Mirage. We've seen Rogue play Mirage already one time this season, and I'm like, yes, we've seen them pick up a win on it, but wasn't necessarily the most convincing victory. And I think they're going up against a much stronger team this time around than what they've faced to this point. So it is a bit of gloom potentially, you know, sitting around the corner for Rogue once again, unless they kind of step up. But we did see that from Optic as well. They had a lackluster first map. Yeah. Obviously, just came and stomped the living hell out of Cloud9 going into Mirage as well. Okay. And we do say that, you know, it's an easier map to kind of play around with, even though you've not necessarily had things going your way on Inferno. You do kind of still need to land your smokes and whatnot. I think it's easier to kind of pug your way out of Mirage in that sense.
Yeah.
Well, pug your way out of Mirage is usually an option. In fact, we're going to be going to Mirage into our next map here. And I don't know that changes the scales in any way, shape, or form in favor of Rogue. I mean, we're looking at an energy that's well-oiled, it's well-drilled, and quite frankly, it's ready to deliver.
I mean, we've seen Rogue play Mirage already once, and that actually looked pretty okay. Looked like they had their fundamentals okay and in order. They also ended up winning the game. So I feel now we at least get a game where we know Rogue can play Mirage, so we can actually see how strong they are going up against NRG at a map that NRG are good at as well. You know, so it's going to be a map that both teams are comfortable with, and a map that we know both teams can play, and we can see the real strength between these two teams. Because Inferno might be one of those outlier maps where Rogue might not be as comfortable as NRG on that, for that matter. So it might be a little bit closer this time around, but as you said, like there's nothing that tells me that Rogue is going to be able to strong enough for that matter, going to be able to fight NRG on this one.
To do anything differently than the last map.
No, hit their shots, you know, and warm up a little bit more.
Alrighty then. What are you thinking, Halvor? Are you feeling the same thing?
Feeling kind of the same thing, honestly. Even if Rogue were to have their fundamentals in order, obviously that should allow them to pick up a couple of more rounds. But from what we saw, it was just such a dominating display in terms of just individual prowess on the side of Energy that if they continue that kind of form, even if you see a lot of the Rogue players stepping up their game, it's not necessarily enough. I just think, or as a whole, that NRG team is a lot more skilled than Rogue.
One thing I do want to say, though, is that, now, sorry for praising a Dane.
Hold on, you only
yeah.
have 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's
so
enough. That's enough. Praising a Dane here. Cadian has always been known, though, for being pretty good at Mirage. And his caller skills, he is the caller for this Rogue team. He's a pretty decent caller on Mirage, and he's always been acknowledged for that in Denmark, at least. Individually as well, he's his best map by far, and he's always, you know, managed to get his team to play well on Mirage. So that tells into me that Rogue may or may not have a chance. You know, that said, again, NRG are good on Mirage, so I don't see where it's going to come from.
Would you say that Cadian is a rising Danish star, Pim?
No.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and bring in the commentators. That was rather subtle and quickly said. Nonetheless, we're going to be getting into our last map of the night. It's going to be a little bit of Mirage between Rogue and NRG. And we have our friends in Jason, Moses O'Toole, and Harry, or Harold for short, standing by, idly, of course, doing absolutely nothing. Take it away, guys.
Harold for short. And here we are on map 2. Rogue having a tough time of it on Inferno, and now they get to go to the friendly open spaces of Mirage, where we'll see Ethan and Breezy and all the other names of NRG just completely dominating. Cirque with the AWP. It's going to be wild.
Yeah, no, I've no doubt that it will be wild. Mirage tends to be. And, well, Rogue, they have a bit of a better track record on this map than they do on Inferno. It's one that they've done fairly well as well throughout the league thus far. But for some reason, I think I'm still going to be leaning the way of NRG here. They've actually really impressed me. I'm kind of becoming a bit of a fan of this team, Jason. You're convincing me as well. You speak with such conviction whenever you tell me about them.
Yeah, they're starting to look good, and it's a promising thing, and it's a very good thing. There's a lot of young talent in North America, even when you go to Cloud9 and Liquid, a lot of young players that are showing really good things, and this is another lineup that seems to have some good things for the future that you can be excited for. So, hit towards the B bomb site. There goes GMD at an atrocious first map. He's going to have to step things up here, but Hiko has a tough time as well, and with the bomb site lost already, not a whole lot of chance for the retake. Sick does have a kit, but they're going to need insane individual games as well.
And I mean, speaking of insane individual games, look at the man who's already done everything in this round. 2 kills for Ethan. It was even him to get the bomb down, so he truly is the golden boy of NRG. He's going to take the fight over on short. He wants to try and get more work done. Vice is going to go ahead and get rid of him. Well, that's some nice B-hops, but B-hopping to run away is nothing to be too happy about if you are Rogue. You've got the moves, but you've used the moves to retreat. So that is going to be the pissed around going the way of NRG.
I like the hunt as well. Like, you don't too frequently see Terrace players hunting down, saving CTs on pistol rounds, but why not? Take it all from them. Cadian, I think, will be able to pick up some... I think he didn't lose any armor, so he can actually pick up head armor for only 350, which would be quite nice if he decides to go that route, and he does. All CZs on the other 4 players, even Vice dropping the scout over to Cadian as well. So some danger here, but Fugly's going to take this initial fight. He spots Vice, he sees the shoulder. Doesn't know where anyone else is, though. Not going to commit. He's the only player over towards this A bomb site, so he's going to back away slowly. And here comes the movement towards B. But the rotation is on as well, so Rogue's going to hit a kind of an awkward timing here.
Oh, no, they've gone right by GMD. He can get a lot of work done here. But he only gets 1. That'll be him shut down. Breezy does double back to correct his mistakes. He's going to go on a bit of a tear. He's in with a second. Hiko goes down. It is just Cadian and this scout left. And he's going to look to save once more. NRG in with their second round. A dominant start once again from the team that emerged victorious on the previous map over on Inferno. Cadian would love it maybe if 1 or 2 of these rifle players come his way, but if you're NRG, you imagine you just play this safe here. And maybe send Daps out to go on a bit of a scouting mission with the MAC-10. Even then, you imagine it's more valuable in the next round, right? So...
Yeah, I mean, I don't think NRG's going to care too much that he's saving this weapon. They obviously don't know he has a scout. He hasn't even fired the weapon yet, so they could just be chasing down a CZ, in which case it's definitely really not worth sacrificing 1 to 2 players for it. So let him be, especially because he had so much time to set up in Palace. So fair play. 2-0 for NRG. They do run into a stack. The stack was just arriving as they got there and only lose one player. AK-47 on Daps full utility as well for this T side, and NRG can do whatever they would like. Over towards the A bomb site we go, and there's Katie, and he does get one tag with that scout eventually. Cirque down to 30 HP, but nothing else to speak of in the MAC-10. It's going to get a chance to build up some bonus money. Hiko peeks out. A little bit of a bait, but it's not going to work. Vice is gone as well, and it's just Sick and GMD left.
Yeah, Sick is going to go ahead and retrieve the scout, so maybe... No, never mind. Spoke too soon. He's going to go down over in Kitchen. NRG, they get a third round. They keep those rounds impeccably clean as well. Only 3 deaths in the entire first 3 rounds of the game. So they've built up a very decent bank. You can see Circuit sitting on 6,000, Breezy on 8,000. You know, so they're looking good. Rogue, they've brought down what they can. They don't have a kit to work with, but they have a decent bit of utility on Cadian and Vice. This B bomb site is very bare in terms of the utility they have. They have 1 smoke in GMD and a flashbang for Hiko. That is it.
This is going to be really early pressure with Smack 10. Hiko's completely blind. GMD hasn't made his presence known yet. There's a kill. There's 2 on the initial defense, and yeah, they're doing a great job of finally holding this one off. Molotov out into the market window. That's Cirque, and he's all alone as Fugly has gone down. And Rogue, they're going to hold on, and more importantly, the thing they didn't do on Inferno, they keep 4 players alive. So they can build up some money, get some utility back into this one, and maintain that strong purchase for the defense. So that was kind of a bonus round in a way for NRG with the MAC-10, with some of the SMGs. Just go fast-paced towards the B-bomb site, see what you can find. And now comes the real test.
Bias coming for NRG. Cirque going to go in for the early peek over towards middle. Now has the AWP to work with. Cadian is watching it. He would love to get his hands on that AWP. Smoke rains into window. Vice and Cadian going to take up position over here in connector. Slowly but surely Fugly sneaking in through lower tunnels as well. GMD is up on short. So you have got a man keeping an eye on connector, and he hasn't been smoked off just yet. Looks like they're going to try wrapping into A, and Breezy's already opened up with a frag onto Sick.
It's a duel with Ethan, one that he'll love to take. No need to commit to the fight, though, as his teammates rotate back in towards position. Vice down to 60 HP. They exchange some shots. There is Hiko still inside this A bomb site, just hiding. And Rogue starting to spread out a little bit more. Now the hit comes in. Hiko's given up his position with that kill. Ethan not peeking quite yet. Now he swings out, and Fugly at top mid adds 1 more onto it. Vice has got to do so much, but he's not able to, and it's just down to GMD. Coming up from connector, and Ethan watching for this. Both players inside the bomb site. Flashbang is going to hold him at bay. And he doesn't even spot Daps going over towards CT spawn. So now a really nice setup in the post plant for NRG, and GMD definitely has to go for this. He has to challenge in some way. Molotov towards the boxes isn't going to burn Ethan. He's just still hiding, waiting for his time to peek, and the footsteps now are going to be given up by GMD. Not even aware, not even considering CT spawn. And NRG with the immediate response. There's still some money on Cadian and Vice, but a tough decision here for Rogue.
Yeah, really not the start they were hoping to get off to. As that reset comes on in, it is crashing back to reality for Rogue. AWP going to be brought up for Cadian. So it looks like they are going to be force buying around it. Now, Pimp kind of touched on this. Cadian is pretty keen with the AWP, as we all know. It's just, is he going to be enough to essentially carry this round? Vice has the M4 as well. He's taken that over there towards the A-bomb site. Going to to be playing over in connector. So we can take peeks out into mid for the information, because it has been left open early on, and that's going to be his responsibility, at least until Hiko comes rotating around. Sick actually with an early peek into Palace. Has to be careful, because Breezy's here, and Breezy did just spot the leg of Sick there through the smoke.
Yeah, that was a weird little exchange, wasn't it? Either way, no damage dealt. Cadian with that op trying to find a position that... Trying to get the read on where NRG is going to go, and he's rotating now towards that A bomb site, towards Ticket Booth. Vice is in connector. Those are like really the two main sources of damage for Rogue if they want to win this round. Could be some kind of a small pinch in towards connector, as we do have Cirque at the top mid with that AWP. Just past a minute remaining in the round. And Rogue has actually a great defense setup for what seems like it's coming, although they've spotted one of the M4s, and it seems like NRG backed a little bit off of that ramp, but perhaps just to throw their smokes. They're going to recommit here. Ethan, big job to do. Flashbang out, spots absolutely no one. Molotov in towards underneath the balcony, and there's Daps, completely blinded up. He does get taken down by Sick, who's going to go back for more, and great trades, great sequence from Rogue. Cadian and Vice both chiming in, and Fugly has to make his move now. Cirque coming up A ramp, good kill there, not able to follow up, and now we're going to see Cirque with some style, the no-scope, and the follow-up, the quick shot. That's beautiful, and just barely on scopes at the wrong moment, but he did spot Cadian, who knows it, and Cirque over the top. That is an absolutely disgusting clutch. 1 versus 3, and everything going wrong for Rogue.
That is unreal. He hopping and jumping around. Welcome to the circus, as it should be called over there on A, as he just shuts it down. That was unreal. I haven't really seen him do anything too impressive, but you always kind of said, you know, you liked him being in this roster, and that there is a good reason as to why. Definitely has the ability to pick things up when they need him to.
Yeah, I mean, that's the tough part, right? Is they've been so dominant, everyone else on the team, that he's never really had to do anything with it all. Ethan's been killing everything. So obviously, Cirque going to be able to chime in with a real nasty clutch right at the end. Couple kills, going to thin out the defense. And now NRG just going to walk their way towards this B-bomb site. There are 2 players here. And if they can find some lucky kills, Daps is low HP, so they could double up. You'd expect Daps would lead the way. Low health and a Mach 10, just send him in. You know he's going to die. Have him find the positions for you, and he has spotted out GMD. There's the kill, there's the trade. Fugly doing this perfectly, and Cirque from above. And actually, I think that might have been a 1-tap. Or 2.
Well, it is going to be a 6th round regardless of whether it was a 1-tap, 2-tap. All that matters is NRG, they've not locked themselves in a 6th round, and they are looking good. The buys come in for Rogue. No AWP in sight for Cadian. He's kind of lusting for that gun at this point in time. Of course, the one round they've really come close to getting it in the previous came on the back of him with that AWP. Oh, they're already out on A. They've just gone walking in. Nobody's home, and Sick is not ready for that. Not anticipating this fast play. Why would you? No smokes, no flashes, nothing to telegraph for NRG. Just go walking in. Ethan, in the meantime, snuck down short. And already, I mean, if you're Rogue, you're considering saving at this point in time. You've been locked out of A. Maybe Cadian pulls it back a bit. He's been able to drop Ethan, who was up on short. But Fugly now to turn things back. Okay, 3-on-3, looking slightly promising. They're considering toying with the idea, but Cirque, he will stuff them out of CT spawn. And with that, the last bit of resistance just padded out from Rogue. They have to go ahead and save. NRG going to be onto a 7th.
Yeah. I mean, probably surprised that they're in A already, but probably surprised that you never got any warning. That's kind of a weird round. No one even having eyeballs towards that A bomb site. So an easy one for NRG. They're giving over a gift. I mean, they're already taking CT spawn by the time anyone's rotating in a position to even have any kind of a effort to stop the attack. So they're really starting to run away with this game, and we're going to get another pause, another timeout for Rogue to talk things over. Keep in mind, this is a Team Rogue that was playing in the relegation matches earlier this year in New York, so obviously they would like to avoid that.
Yeah, I mean, especially because, you know, you kind of think with the roster shuffles, bringing in a whole bunch of new players to kind of pad out the ranks, you'd be hoping now for this new look Rogue to be doing a little bit better here. You know, they've done all right in their games so far. I think they have wins versus Ghost Gaming and Splice. But those two, not the most challenging teams in the pool.
They don't have a whole lot of name power, do they? NRG certainly going to be a big risk for some of these squads. That's Breezy, double kill for him. Vice and Cadian pushing in. That's one of the M4s that was saved from the last round. That was on Cadian. Down to 10 HP. Just the multi-kill ability for these NRG players is pretty astounding between Breezy, Ethan, and Cirque, and even Fugly, who's going to... he strikes me as that player who's going to be very, very good for this squad, but going to go under the radar quite frequently to his flashier teammates.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think the main focus point for a lot of people is going to be Ethan, who's looked really good. If he can keep this form up, then you know, he has the potential to be terrifying. But Breezy as well. He's made a few silent plays that haven't really gotten a whole bunch of recognition thus far, but definitely had a hell of a lot of impact. Here's the mad question, Ethan. He's starting to progress down through short. Has Daps and Breezy with him. They're just going to walking into B as Rogue. They've stacked everyone over on A. They get the site for free once again. They take the gamble and it pays off for them.
Yeah, I think it'll even be frustrating to a degree for the Rogue players that, you know, nothing is going right. Not only the kills, but even when they decide to stack up at bomb site, just a blind gamble. They can't win the 50-50. So it'll be 8-1 for NRG on the T side of Mirage. And we haven't even really seen fight out of Rogue quite yet, which I guess to a degree makes sense. That first map had to have been so disheartening. A huge blowout loss there on Inferno, and now it's looking very similar here on Mirage. And NRG's already on the hunt again. 2 players in T spawn, 2 players in CT spawn, slowly encroaching towards the position. Cirque left to watch the bomb.
Yeah, this is sick. Does sit. And the sick discovered. He's only going to get one. He wants to try and stay alive, but he's going to go down. They keep pushing on in. He goes able to save the rifle at least. So now the buy comes in. They're going to have a little bit more as a result of that. Not really in this round, but more in the next.
Double op setup though. Sick has one, Cadian with the other. They haven't really, the single op hasn't really done a whole lot, but this might allow them to get some picks before the main hit comes in, try and find some advantages into the round. So we'll see. 1 AWP for Rogue is going to be in mid, and the other will be towards that A bomb site. So it allows Vice to kind of double up with Cadian, actually pushing towards mid. Cadian's pushed back, and all that's left is Vice. Great opening kill from him, and actually he's going to get away. Daps is forced to be passive by the nades, by the aggression. And there it is, the ops giving Rogue an advantage.
So Ethan is going to try and slip in through mid here. Right now, this character area has looked like Vice City. Flash. And a leave Vice blind, and Ethan doesn't manage to find them. So now we're into a 4-on-4. Cadian's over here on short, but the man's been boosted up into window in the form of Ethan. He wants to continue this rampage. His tirade is not done just yet. GMD's going to be holding the angle, but Ethan checks it. Ethan spots him, and GMD, he will falter. Hiko and Cadian inside this B bomb site, but Ethan in the back line. Players now flanking on round into apartments. The pressure is well and truly on, but Cadian and Hiko, they've got it done. Ethan has to try and find them both with Sick rotating around. It's a big ask for the young gun on NRG. Able to drop Cadian. Hiko's still here. Sick come rotating round, and Ethan, what is that shot? That is absolutely insane. He's going to get the bomb down. Sick hot on his heels, and Ethan now has to ace it in the 1v1. Sick goes in, misreads the angle, and Ethan's going to get it done. 5 kills, the ace locked in, and a ninth round for NRG. Ethan just keeps blowing my mind over and over again.
This shot on the Hiko is so disgusting. It's so casual. It's like swatting away a fly. He's just like, get out of my face. And even adds on to that 5th. That's 2-1 versus 3-1 in this half. 1 by Ethan, 1 by Cirque earlier with that AWP. It's absolutely disgusting. And yeah, this is now going to be a blowout. I don't think you could really come back from this if you're Rogue. That's so disheartening. That's when like silence just descends on the TeamSpeak, and yeah, NRG gonna pick up the pace, and they've taken some losses. Hiko's still fighting back. The B-bomb set is lost, and this lurk from Daps has missed its timing, which means Vice is gonna get up. Cirque does turn around with the AWP. Ethan's here though. Ethan not gonna be able to win that one. One of the few fights he's actually lost, which is gonna leave Cirque in an awkward spot. And yeah, Daps still walking over towards A. Surely not Daps as well.
Well, yeah, that's the real test. You know, we've seen Ethan have his time to shine. Now it is Daps. He's going to start to creep on in. Into shop. 6 the man he's looking for. Daps is going to find it. Now it's a 1-on-2. And if you're Rogue, you know, you've got to be sweating here. Daps has been able to kickstart this clutch. There is still 2 more left to find. And Vice is actually peeking into this angle. 35 seconds. Bomb down over at short. Daps has to be pretty swift. Cadian spotted him out, so he's going to get tagged just a little bit. The repeat comes in from Cadian. He's going to take the fight. Tags him down. 24 seconds. Time working against him here. He has to move swiftly. And this clock has ticked down so low, he has no idea where Vice is either, so he's been baited over to short. Has to check the van, and he won't, and Vice is able to pick it up. So Rogue, they do manage to find a 2nd round.
Yeah, you really got the feeling that after that first kill it was possibly going to happen, but not able to do it, not able to build upon his, or match his teammates' efforts. It's understandable, though. They did some pretty weird things. 9-2. NRG with a big lead. But some hope for Rogue if they can build upon this. So Molotov going to come out. Cadian over towards Catwalk. Completely blind and stays at the angle and almost dies for it. Vice has got to run back through a Molotov. That doesn't burn him as much as I thought it would. Fair play, but some decent damage dealt by both sides. Breezy and Cadian both down to around 30 health. Seems like Cadian almost still wants to fight for this, but he just backs off a little bit later. Daps pre-firing into the smoke. Gonna get taken down to 5 HP in return. Mid control has been gained by NRG, but it's at a pretty big cost when you look at some of the health points. And the bomb is still down towards T spawn.
Breezy does spot Vice there. Out in connector. Candy's open up one to Fugly. Spot Ethan creeping through. Vice is able to trade. Well, they have a bit of a foothold here over here at short. Look at GMD. He's taking the fight with Daps. He's discovered the bomb. They have to go ahead and try and help him out, as now GMD reroutes over into the top of mid. Cirque going to shut him down, and Cirque feels like, you know, he started rolling. When he gets his momentum behind him, he's very tricky to put a stop to, as Rogue have already discovered. Cadian's been spotted now by Breezy as well. It is just Vice and Sick left in a round where they had such a big advantage. Now has calmed it down to the wire. Daps and Cirque. 2 versus 2. That's injury going to keep them back. Oh, Vice. Fire is pretty warm. Daps is here. Both players come his way. Missed shot, and now Cirque knows where they both are. He's got ahead and dropped out. Vice 1 versus 1, and Cirque, surely he's not going to do it again. Yes, he does. Cirque is unnatural. 3 kills there as NRG move on to a 10th round. And, I mean, Jason, you said it the first time with the Cirque clutch. Then we said it with Ethan. Now it's Cirque again. Rogue, they've got to be feeling so just battered down by these rounds.
I mean, it just shows it's what kind of I talked about during map 1, and then the desk touch on it between the maps is just on an individual level. NRG is just so far ahead of the Rogue guys. So, I mean, 2 1v3s, now a 1 versus 2. I think that was actually a 3-on-4 or something or so in that round. And, I mean, the tough part is you give someone like Cirque, an AWP, plenty of time and open space on the map. He's going to find some kills. He's got a very fast-firing speed, and it's very accurate to go along with it. So a very dangerous player to have in the server. And now look at this. Aggression out of Palace. Cadian does find one, but he's running out of ammunition, and though he does add on 1 kill to it, and Breezy cannot connect. Ethan, again, a 1v3. He's surrounded. So many different angles for him this time. There goes Hiko. Hasn't taken any damage, so he still has a chance. 1 minute on the clock as well. GMD is on the staircase, and he's got 1 player down at the bottom of A ramp. It's going to be Sick, and Sick just wants to back away. He wants to get over with his teammate. Not the worst idea in the world, always be in a position to trade. How long does Ethan spend being cautious getting the bomb? I think this is the tough part for him to consider, whether he wants to pick it up and go towards the B bomb site, but he's going to use the smoke. 30 seconds left. This is chewing up a lot of time, and yeah, you can see he considers it. He picks it up. Now he's got 1 a day. And Rogue, or Sick, going back towards mid, although he hears those footsteps. They both hear each other, actually, so Ethan changes his mind. And that actually might have pulled GMD away. He's now leaning towards Connector, and if Ethan can just drop down and get into the site and get this bomb planted, there's a chance here.
Ethan kind of go running in. Bomb down just in the nick of time, but now they go pushing on to him. He's got so little time. He has to adjust quickly, and GMD is able to find it. Maybe with 5-10 more seconds on the clock would have been a very different round, but Rogue, they managed to finally pick one of these, you know, X versus 1 rounds up. Maybe that's going to restore a little bit of faith in them. They get themselves a 3rd round as well. That was on the back of CZ, so they have a decent buy looking into the future. NRG, they've actually been kept fairly modest in these last few, so their buy isn't fantastic.
No, it really isn't. They've been worn down. I mean, I mean, like we said, it's been, you know, 3 clutches essentially, 1v3s. There's a nice pick from Cirque. Too fast for Cadian. I think that flashbang might have been a bit early. Cadian wasn't quite ready, and Cirque was able to get unblind just enough to spot the play. And Vice going to follow this up with aggression at top mid. So they have mid control, but there are 4 players coming towards these B halls. Molotov going to hold them back for the moment. And all the meanwhile, Ethan lurking in Palace. When does he make his play? If he's an aggressive lurk, he can pull some of these defenders off of the B bomb site, but it might not matter in the end of it because they're all out of position as NRG rotates back towards A. Fugly now turns into the lurker in underpass. And Rogue is slow to adjust, slow to adapt. They might just barely miss the timing to get back to help out Sick.
Timing will be everything here for Rogue. Sick's going to be held back. Flurry of smokes do head in. There isn't one down for CT, so he's been given a bit of free reign. Fugly. Oh no, they've got no idea. Takes 1. Vice is there to trade. Sick going to go down now in CT. Both players left for Rogue over in Connector. And they're faced with an awkward decision. Do you go for this or do you save? Already start to edge on out of the site. They look to try and get away with this. Cirque goes peeking in, but he doesn't spot them on the retreat. Rogue, they forfeit this round. NRG to be within 11th. And they do manage to at least keep the AWP and an AK in to the next round. But that'll be the last of the half. And a potential 3-12 scoreline in favor of NRG is not how Rogue expected this to go down.
No, it really really wasn't. Actually, I mean, the tough part if you're Rogue is, your big takeaway from this is, hasn't always been like the perfect rounds, but you still put yourself in the position to win, you know, what, you lose a 3-on-1, you lose another 3-on-1, and you lose a 2-on-1. So, if you, I mean, it's a big if to say if you change the outcome of those rounds to Rogue's favor, this could be a pretty solid lead for them, all things considered. So if you can just clean up the way they're played, obviously they made some mistakes in those rounds to lose them, but if you can clean those up, then this is a much better looking map, and you're much more competitive at the very least. That'll be the conversation they likely have when this map is over. Sick behind the smoke, and Ethan's going to be passive with it. It's Fugly who's got a pretty advanced position towards the B-bomb, so he's trying to be creative. Spots out Sick, goes for the reload a bit early. Sick going to continue to push down, though, and he's going to try and get an advantage for his team, and he's going to do it. He's found that great timing. Although he does fall away from the aggression. Just clears out the back of a ramp.
Still some information gained for them. Vice is looking a bit curious at what mid might hold in store as he waits over here in connector. But he's been struggling here. Actually going to go up into window, does go peeking through, and that's actually perfect timing. Tries to get away. They've spotted him, though. He's backed into a corner. Somehow he's still fighting. And there was a man there in the bottom of mid in the form of Daps, but he didn't get into position to trade fast enough. Spots out Vice once again. Sick now emerges from Banana. From Sandwich. I mean,
it's the same thing.
Yeah, you can definitely.
Have you ever had a peanut butter and banana sandwich?
I haven't, but it sounds extremely American.
Yeah, it's very good.
I've heard about it, but I wonder if Daps has been eating his peanut butter and banana sandwich. He hasn't. He's just completely forfeited that build-up, and he's gone down. So a 4th round for Rogue. They managed to get one there right at the end. All in all, not the best half, but a bit of a recovery from Rogue to give them a chance here into the second half at least.
We don't even need to talk about Rogue there. I mean, this half again, Ethan does a very good job. Some hugely impactful, not only this round, this pistol that put him on the board. He got 4 kills total, I think, in it, but a 1 versus 3 later on. Cirque had the 1 versus 3. Probably a pair of the best plays that we've had in North American Pro League all season so far. It's been a short season so far, to be fair, but super impressive stuff from everyone on the NRG, and once again, just showing they're able to kind of really style on these guys on an individual level. This is the clutch from Cirque that we're going to get cut short. Just a teaser. A teaser trailer. Second half starting now. Switching over to the defense is going to be NRG with that massive 11-4 lead. So many rounds to play with. A long road ahead for Rogue.
Yeah, now we'll be looking to try and find some salvation on this road to a comeback over here toward the A-bomb site. As they line up these smokes and flashes to get them in, KDM wrapping in through lower tunnels. There is only one man here, Ethan, to try and keep them at bay, although I couldn't think of someone you would want more in this situation. Smoke's going to fall down for CT. Now the push comes through. He will just be sent back. It's going to be 5-on-5 in the retake as the bomb goes down.
Oh, and these rounds always tilt me just a little bit. It's going to have to be quick. Cadian with the lurk, and I think Circus spotted him out. He has no kill coming in just right at the end, but good trades. Now a 4-on-4, and there is still a smoke on Ethan. If he can just find the bomb, and he does actually. It's planted default. It's actually planted away from the majority of Rogue, so there is some danger in this for them. They've got to peek before the retake comes in, before the plant goes down, and everyone's pretty much dead. Surely Ethan cannot find a way to defuse this now. Trying to jump on top of the boxes to find a kill, but yeah, just way too difficult to retake that in a 5-on-5. Vice has 17 kills. I didn't even notice that until now. It's actually matching Ethan.
Yeah, Vice is one of the players for Rogue who is pretty consistent in his ability to step up. The two that are less consistent, definitely GMD and Sick. But they have got the potential. This round, Rogue going to go ahead and take control of mid early on. It's just pretty much digs across the board for NRG, and they've already lost one of them over at short. So Rogue, rather, ooh, looking to try and keep this round pretty clean. Yeah, already they're up into connector. Cadian with the Mac-10. He's looking to try and make some money. Daps over here on short, the only man over here at B. He has got his work cut out for him. And gonna have his head cut off for him. GMD lines that shot. Just the 3 Deegs of NRG left. The 3 Deegsmen of the Apocalypse, as they're called.
Let's see. There's a couple kills coming out. Cirque and Fugly both adding 1. Ethan now pushing up next, and like he had the lineup, but doesn't get the connection. All 5 kills for GMD, an ace in the round. Well done for the young lad on the anti-eco, anti-force buy, whatever you want to call it. So 11-6, Rogue not investing armor into that round either, so knowing they just have such a big lead, going to that fourth round with everything they could possibly want, and make sure they just play a pretty standard half.
Yeah, Rogue, they've started to close this gap. There's only vanilla pistols in this round as we would expect. And actually already 6 gone down. I'm crossing all 10 of my fingers that we don't have one of these weird USP rounds, but the USPs are weirdly effective, and it does look to be the case. GMD, he mops them up along with Cadian. It does actually go down, but ultimately going to be a 7th round now for Rogue, and they have started to close this gap. Jason, there's only 4 rounds between these two teams now. The buy is going to be coming in for NRG, so Easy Street has officially ended, at least for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, remember, this is the map Cadian said that, Pimp said that Cadian was, known for being very strong on individually and also as a leader, very good knowledge of how to play the map. So put yourself in a position, if you're Rogue, to have a comeback and to make this competitive despite some of the insane losses you took in the first half. See if they're able to make it work. Daps is going to spot out Hiko. He's going to continue to move forward. Trying to time the spam. 3 players over at A for NRG. 1 dedicated in towards the B bomb site with Breezy as a support and market, and not a whole lot of eyes on mid. I think Cirque probably peering down from the ticket booth, but it's a very passive way of guarding mid. They want to go right at Daps, this Rogue. He's waiting with a Molotov. As soon as he sees the nades stream over, it's going to be a Molotov in their path.
Yeah, Breezy is all going to reside over in shop. Cool as the cucumber that Trace has left on our desk. Push comes through. Daps opens up. Does go down, but now Breezy's here to try and do the damage. And with a second Cadian now left. It's all that remains of this Rogue force. Cadian 1v4, not meant to be. Breezy getting a lock in at that 12th round for NRG with a 3K.
Yeah, nice trust in Cirque, his teammate, who had just rotated through to market to be able to grab that angle of anyone from Rogue trying to wrap around him around those pillars, and Cirque picks him off. Allows Breezy to just concentrate on one angle. 12-7 now, 5-round lead. Cirque gonna take that up into the window. GMD has one of his own, perhaps due to a spawn-based idea. Actually, look how fast this round is going to be. Cirque just going to fall away. Nico's gotten in towards ladder room, and he hasn't done it quietly. I think Breezy should know, and Rogue is just going to swiftly back off. They've got Vice positioned in Palace. They've got Hiko in ladder room. So some advanced positions to see if they can exploit them.
Yeah, they're setting up outside of A here. 2 players over in at Palace, 2 on ramp. Hiko still over in ladder room. Ethan and Fugly have this crossfire set up between Sandwich and under scaffolding. Smoke starts to rain on in now. The Molotov to burn out Fugly out from the Sandwich. Cadian in with a quick flick, does drop out Fugly, and now it's all eyes onto Ethan. Cirque's in CT to try and help out. Daps is there as well. They don't have a smoke for it, so this AWP is going to be given free reign onto the site. But now Cadian starts to lock down the angle from ramp. Cirque misses that first shot. Daps going to be able to answer back with one more, and Cirque, now it's all on him. Nico going to catch Breezy off guard in the rotate, and Cirque 1v3. Cadian locking it down from ramp, but Cirque, he's not done just yet. And we've seen these heroics so many times. He's weary of a man in the back line. Hiko instead has rotated down in toward connect. The bomb is going to be planted for both mid and ramp. Cirque going to tap the defuse. Missed shot from Cadian. Cirque turns round. He hops on it once again. keeping their attention, trying to clear out Cadian first. Missed shot, in with the frag onto Cadian, but the round has already gone the way of Rogue. 3 massive kills for Cirque, but it's not meant to be, as Rogue lock themselves in an 8th round.
Yeah, nice win from Rogue, and really having to earn it there at the end with Cirque pressuring the situation in a big way. It's 12-8. Does NRG want to risk a buy here? I think they'll choose to save. Cirque going to drop a Deagle over and just see what his AWP can provide, and that's not a bad idea. If NRG were to invest here and lose out of money, and a double save would have to be the option, and Rogue would have a great chance to get back into it. So they're closer than it might seem, which is stunning to think of some of the clutch rounds they lost in the first half. And Cirque is going to do everything he can in this round. He's got the angle on catwalk towards the base. No one from Rogue is moving. Very passive from both teams. Obviously understandable for NRG. They want that op to be the first point of contact, and for Rogue, they just want to make sure no one's going to be rushing or pushing. Cadian misses the jump shot. Still no presence in mid though, and at a certain point, you imagine NRG is going to break up this stack to go back towards A.
Yeah, if Rogue go in now, then they are going to find themselves feeling it fine.
NRG's just dedicated to the stack. They haven't moved at all whatsoever. So, I mean, fair play. In their minds, it's like, if you come B, great, but no matter what, Cirque just retreats towards the B bomb site, and we can help protect him and keep that gun alive.
Oh, Ethan's up on the stairs, peering over the top of that smoke. Cirque's dropped GMD, and with it, the bomb. There's only 15 seconds left as well, so they have to move quite quickly here to get that bomb down. Fugly's dropped it once again, in through the smoke, and oh no, Rogue! This round, it could have very, very quickly turned sour. Cadian's going to answer back with one more, but there's only 4 seconds. The bomb plant's coming in. Breezy denies it, and NRG, they find themselves another round. How on earth have they managed that?
I have no idea how they managed to lose that round. A gap in the smoke allows Cirque. I think it had to have been. I feel like it's a gap. Other than that, a very lucky shot from Cirque to get that opening kill, but that's so crushing if you're Rogue. They waited around that whole... I mean, that's kind of the other issue as well. When you wait around that long to actually finally execute onto a site, you run that kind of a gamble. But still, even despite all of that, Ethan was the only player even at A with the Deagle. Just a... multiple unfortunate occurrences, I guess, is the answer there. So, a rebuy for Rogue, trying to get back onto the winning side of things, and Daps is going to spot out GMD much earlier than he expected. There's the kill. They're running through the flames. Some damage is dealt. Daps adds another one onto it. Breezy does eventually go down, but Fugly has arrived, and it's a 3-on-2. Fugly hopping down for the flank. Bomb is getting planted. 2 players going to come through market. They're being very, very cautious of the fact that Cadian with the op is still on the field.
Ethan's wrapping around. Towards short. Missed shot from Cadian. Now they know where this AWPer is. And in the meantime, Cirque's pushed all the way up in. 6 going to go out and perish in the fire and flames. Now it's all on Cadian. Things heat up for him. And Cirque's going to burn him out at the end. That is going to be another round of 4 NRG. Rogue, they get the bomb plant. But that is grim at compensation for losing that round.
Yeah, at 14-8, you don't really feel too happy about just getting a bomb plant. You really, really need the wins, obviously. And even in this round, I'm not sure if Rogue can really invest. They have to save up. They probably feel like they want to have one last AK and utility buy before they concede the affair. Double op setup for NRG. Daps has one. He's going to be anchoring the B bomb site with that. Will allow Breezy to be a lot more mobile, and we've got floating Cloud9 stickers.
I like this mid hole from NRG. They're really mixing things up. And Well, Arcadia's going to get found. Hiko's able to answer back, but this is where Breezy's there to trade, and they've taken aggression over towards top mid. Rogue will be afforded the bomb plant. But now they have to try and hold down the site with only pistols.
Yeah, no utility as well. Should be a pretty solid retake for NRG. They have nades and Molotovs. The first nade goes short, though. Second nade, actually none of those nades doing damage, and the Molotovs all being thrown in positions where there is absolutely no one, but the smoke towards CT spawn is perfect. Vice inside the site, only able to get one frag, and Breezy ready for sick as well. Gotta be careful jumping up. It's down into a 2-on-2, actually a 2-on-1, and Ethan not sticking the bomb anymore, and he's waiting, and somehow the pistols win it out. Rogue have pulled off somewhat of a miracle. That smoke that NRG throws actually backfires on them. And I don't know how these 2 rounds have actually occurred. The Rogue winning that one and the Rogue losing the round towards that A-bomb site as well. So it's getting a bit scrappy here at the end of the night.
Finally, NRG's going to have to go ahead and concede. They've left for no choice but to grit their teeth in this round, go for the very limited pistol buy that they have. And, well, Dabs and Breezy both falling. Fugly, okay, he's got one with the D. Maybe a few more going to come his... Okay, Fugly, that's a second. And somehow this round looks like it might elude Rogue. Fugly's not done yet. That's 3 massive kills. It all falls onto Cadian. And Fugly, we said earlier on, he could be the hero they need, and there we go. He smites them down, Jason. 4 massive kills. The Deeg is his best friend. And NRG, they go ahead and reach a match point.
Doesn't even make sense. We should just be playing Linkin Park over this game and calling it a day. Who needs commentators? Just a frag movie being made in this match. So 15-9 now. Some of the weirdest rounds I've ever seen exchanged down the stretch have just occurred, and you love to see it. Here we are, 5 rifles, no AWPs on the board, and it's all left for this hit at the A-bomb site. Ethan gonna play it passively. Nades being utilized by both sides now, and again, a 5-on-5 retake, although Vice does burn down pretty low and does get found out by Cirque at the end. Ethan now going to try and make a play happen. Hiko tossing out utility from the mountain boxes.
All right.
And Fugly still hasn't moved up quite yet. Spots went out towards Palace. Good shot from Cadian. Still 4 more players to deal with.
And Ethan sprays down 2, wants to try and make it 3, runs out of ammo, out to the CZ he goes, and he will complete it. NRG, they've won this out. That is them taking this series 2-0. And as you said, Jason, that was just a frag movie throughout.
Yes, I mean, the 1-on-3s in the first half, the craziness in the second, the thrown round by Rogue right at the end, the deagle round from Fugly. Yeah, it got real scrappy. Getting late in the evening for both teams, late in the morning for us. And what a wild ride.
Yeah, I mean, what a wild ride indeed. Still, it was a good game to end on, I think. You know, it was everything you wanted to see, some great plays. It was good across the board, I think.
Yeah, wasn't bad. You know what else isn't bad is our analyst desk. They're here with me, with us. They're with both of us, Harry, Harold. And they're going to be talking about this game as well. How'd you guys enjoy that one?
It isn't bad. It isn't the best. But anything will do at this point, Jason. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and begin to break this one down now that we have our shoes back on. Correction, I'm the only one with my shoes back on.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit better of a showing here by Rogue. Ultimately, you can't really match up. You can't really stack up when Cirque is firing away.
Yeah, no, I mean, they get more rounds on the board, but then you see the kind of rounds they end up losing in the end. Again, it comes back to what we mentioned in the first match. The individual skill remains with NRG. That's very evident in a lot of these situations. But you could have had so much more if you're Rogue. Like, you could have had the economy in shambles for NRG. You could have actually put up a better fight if you hadn't messed up these 1vx situations. But, you know, credit where credit is due. I think Jason was very on point when he mentioned, you know, you kind of just needed a soundtrack, really, for a lot of those rounds because it was highlight worthy from a lot of these NRG youngsters.
Credit where credit is due. And that is why I want to tell you about our friends at ESEA. That's right, ESEA.net. 128 tick servers, fantastic support ticket system, and more importantly, the best forum moderators that could possibly exist. I vouch for all of that. Kind of. Anyway, guys, you know what else goes along with the ESEA servers? The Mountain Dew League. Would you believe that? Now, we've had some players playing tonight that have come through that system. My goodness, can you name one? Anyone will do.
Vice.
Nice.
There it is, Vice. Boom. I sick as well, I believe.
Pretty much all of them started there.
I mean, well, they went through the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
To be able to retain their spot in Pro League here, or get into the Pro League. So, yeah, it's definitely relevant. And if they're going to continue with this kind of performances, then they might have to find their way back down there once more.
Back down and then back up again.
Back up again, exactly. Because that's the chance MDL gives you, the opportunity to play in Pro League.
That's exactly right. MDL, providing a path for amateurs to the professional division. That is exactly what the Mountain Dew League is all about. Either way, we're going to take a look at some of the top plays from today before we close this bad boy out, and we can fly those in right about now. Take a look here. Here's the play from Ethan. Halvor, tell us everything you see in front of you.
I mean, obviously we saw some crazy rounds from Inferno, but this highlight package is pretty much what we talked about, the soundtrack of Mirage, really. Ethan, this is just one of many rounds, honestly, where he digs energy out of a deep hole, and once again, one of these golden opportunities that Rogue had to actually get a bit of a hold on the game. Cheeky one tap onto Hiko there before he eventually ends up winning the 1v1 and completes the ace. Yeah, it's really cool to see, though. Like, back when he was playing for CLG, I didn't feel like we got to see Ethan at full display.
Full potential, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, a lot of the time. But so far in Energy, he just seems to be finding a sweet spot.
Moving into the Cirque one, we talked a lot about this Bulgarian star player, and I think he's showing here why. That's a good scope. That's a good scope, and the way he plays this one-on-one, it's just he's outbraining Katie. Like, he's literally outplaying him, lurking him out, and taking him down with another quick scope right there. That's 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Bulgarian players apparently better than Norwegian players.
Better than Danish players. Canadian's Danish.
Sort of the same, right? Danes
What?
are better than Norwegian.
I'm not on
Wow.
board with that. I'm not even on
Guys,
board with that at all.
I don't understand. I gave you the platform earlier to trash talk one another, and now we're back.
I'm trying to.
Is there anything that we can do to settle that while we watch this highlight of Fugly?
Oh, well, what we can agree on is that Fugly had a great Deagle round.
Fugly is
had a
neither a
great
Dane
job.
or
Yeah.
a Norwegian.
What?
Okay.
One more time?
Fugly is neither a Dane or a Norwegian.
Yeah, no. He's superior to both of them, apparently.
Well, we can go ahead and take a look at the results from the European side there, because there was a match day number 5 on the European side before there was for the North American division. Of course, Navi and Ego going not too in-depth. If you saw that game earlier, you can go and watch the rest of it. I believe the VOD is up. They didn't get a chance to finish it out before we jump back into the action tonight. Heroic and Hellraisers, though, 19-15. You're going to see a little bit of an overtime there, as we do have a 80% chance of precipitation here this evening. Highs in the upper 30s. And let's go ahead and push on now to the North American match day in what was a rather one-sided affair between Liquid and SK. I don't know why. Pimp, tell us why.
I mean, Liquid played hearts out, probably the best Counter-Strike we've ever seen for them. 260-0s, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Full ice, clear hearts, can't lose.
Cold Zero didn't have 1 kill in that match. Never happened
That's
before.
very true. In fact, one might even say no one had any kills that match, because it was a forfeit when, that's right, 16-0s there in the middle are exactly what you see. SK electing the forfeit rather than to play from Europe with high ping. Understandably so. I get it. They are boot camping in Cologne, preparing themselves. Probably much needed on their end. Probably something they're looking forward to getting in there and getting the groundwork done. But we can only speculate. Let's go ahead and take a look at tomorrow's matches for EU. Excuse me. We'll just go straight in NA, because that's what we're doing around here. Look at that one. Kicking off the day. Cloud9 versus Liquid, boys.
That's a good matchup, a hot match right there. Really looking forward to that. Also, we talked about how, potentially Energy might be better than what we expected them to be, even though, I have them as a top 6. We might be a top 5 team for all we know. They're going to get a chance to match up with SK. If all things go according to plan, well, that remains to be seen. And then, obviously, closing it out, Rogue, once again, playing the final match of the day versus Optic.
Well, should be pretty warmed up by then. Let's go ahead and take a look at tomorrow's matches for EU, like you said. AGO, taking on NIP to kick it off. Space Soldiers G2, and a little bit of North and Envious action to close it out there. And moving forward, I do believe we have today's highlights, which we've already done. So, guys, how are we feeling about match day number 5?
I mean, I think it was a good match day, and I think highlight of the day for me was the way Optic were able to demolish Cloud9 and that Mirage. I didn't expect that. Don't think anyone of us did. So Optic showing some teeth and showing some potential. Same goes for NRG. I think that's been the story for the first 2 weeks, and we're gonna see that tomorrow. You know, a team that I think many says are like a top 6 contender, but as you said, we might have to consider them even a top 4, even a top 5 contender right now. They're playing hearts out, and tomorrow could be the first real test against one of the teams that we expect to be in the top 3. So let's see how they fare, and thus far, just impressed. You know, Rogue back to the drawing board. Gotta be a little bit better. Had a decent first week, but what we've seen today was just not good enough.
Yeah. Back to reality.
Back to reality and back to sleep I go. Right after this, I'll be going right promptly to bed. Not before a bowl of Frosted Flakes, of course, and I want you to all think about that. If you're sitting there late night at home and you're hungry as well, just know I'm eating real good real soon. I'm going to go ahead and invite you back tomorrow for match day number 6 here at the ESL Pro League at the Intel Esports Arena, of course, and you can find us at the Xfinity Analyst Desk. We'll be back tomorrow. See you then.